as a watchman around the Babylonian doors. Rasta singing, oh, children of Israel. I should never hold our peace while we are penalized day or night. We should have bust down Babylon doors. Prepare the way for your people. Fight down the war and the crime. Fight down the war and the crime. Rasta fight down the war and the crime. And build up a righteousness. You know, Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Preserve our people. Jah.
Okay, my dear friends, good night to you. I hope that you are okay. I know we're having a little drizzle, which I love. Anyhow, once more we are here again for another Night Nurse program being hosted by yours truly, Margaret London. Today is the 17th of May 2017. Let us begin tonight's program by reading from Psalm 28, verse 2 to 4, Psalm 55, verse 21, Proverbs 26 and verse 25, and Psalm 12, verse 2. We begin. Hear the voice of my supplications when I cry to you for help, when I lift up my hands toward your holy sanctuary. Do not drag me away with the wicked and with those that work iniquity, who speak peace with their neighbors while evil is in their hearts. Requite them according to their work and according to their evil practices. Requite them according to the deeds of thy hand. Repay them their recompense. Psalm 55, verse 21. His speech was smoother than butter, but his heart was filled with war. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn sword. Proverbs 26, verse 25 says, when he speaks graciously, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Psalm 12, verse 2 reads, they speak falsehood to one another, with flattering lips and with a double heart they speak. Okay, folks, that is the scripture reading for tonight's program. Now, folks, we must apologize to you for the abrupt ending of the program last week. It is really no fault of the station because we had a power outage which affected the system here. So that is why the program ended abruptly. I don't even know what was the last thing you heard from last week's program, but I wasn't told. If I have any idea, then we can pick up from there. Anyhow, you know, I have a bad habit of never saying the numbers for the program. So let me just do that now before I forget once again. The local number is 1-784-456-5967. The Magic Jack number is 718-734-5615. And as usual, you are free to send emails to bdsnice@gmail.com. Okay, folks. So, that's it. Let us take this opportunity to extend our deepest condolences to Edwin Charles, Zell and Zoe, and other relatives and friends of Mrs. Beulah Hall. Charles Beulah left us, I think it was on Sunday night, and she will be buried on Saturday. So, I have been there, Edwin, so I know your pain. It ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. It ain't easy. But you just have to be strong, my friend. I know that Zell and Zoe are going to miss their mom tremendously, but be strong. There are a few omissions from last week. You know, it was so remiss of me not to have told you several things, but maybe it was for a reason. Anyhow, I was listening to the press conference held, I think it's last Tuesday. I think it's last Tuesday. And I was rather taken aback when I heard about coconut bat and leadership. And I wonder how Vincent Beach felt knowing that the same things were said about him. Vincent Beach was referred to as a coconut bat politician. And the last press conference, you heard about that. I gave you a little bit of report from the court last week. And you know, I forgot to tell you that in the Otto Sam's case, the lawyer in Otto Sam's case informed the court and all present that the government that he is a part of are a set of very oppressive people. Very oppressive people. From the court. The fella who is related to Sylvia Finley, because that was confirmed last night by another relative that the DPP is related very closely to the supervisor of elections. So you understand why not only is he was a senator of the ULP, but you would understand why he wouldn't want to grant the fiat for criminal charges to be filed against his blood relative. No. I was so embarrassed when this man, Sylvia Finley's cousin, informed the judge in the Vinette Fredericks case that why he took 8 months, why his office took 8 months before even making submissions in Vinette's appeal, that there were administrative difficulties. You know what made me feel so embarrassed? Is when the judge, like in her Barbadian accent, said, in the jurisdiction where I'm from, we hold the prosecution to a higher standard. In the jurisdiction where I'm from, the prosecution is concerned about justice and the administration of justice. Would you believe that? He said he had administrative difficulties for 8 months. And when he should be at his office to help get rid of these whatever administrative difficulties there are, he in court a simpler traffic case with Luzette King in court. Could you imagine? The judge further told the former ULP senator and PRO, I have learned that you don't ever tell a judge that. In the jurisdiction where I'm from, you don't ever tell a judge that you have administrative difficulties. I was shocked. But last night, when I heard Justice Adrian Saunders speaking about administrative problems at the CCJ, and Colin speaking about administrative difficulties at the prosecution's office. Now tell me, how is the CCJ going to handle the heavy workload if we have to move, if each of the 15 territories have to move to the Caribbean Court of Justice? But we'll get back to that in a while. We'll get back to that revealing lecture in a while. But for now, folks, I understand that the internet is down and persons are complaining. But nothing I can do about that. Nothing I can do. Nothing I can do about that for now. So just bear with us, hoping that the internet is back up. So folks, let us get back to the issue at hand. Issue? Did I say issue at hand? Issue at hand comes on a Sunday, right? But people are saying now the name should be changed to Yes, Mr. Prime Minister. Yes, Mr. Prime Minister. That is what the Sunday program should be called. Anyhow. Folks, did you hear Jack Benimble? Jack Benimble Wolf calling in on the Sunday program Views and Issues. Issue at hand, to say that he assisted in the drafting and piloting of the Audit Act of 2004. He assisted in drafting the Audit Act of 2004. Now, folks, are you aware that we, the taxpayers of this country, are paying legal drafters? I know they had, I think one was a Peters, and I wonder if it's Thomas. Is Thomas? Peter, but I know for sure. Folks, we are paying drafters to draft legislation. And the man say he assisted in the drafting. And no wonder persons are saying that he was instrumental in drafting the departure tax for going to the Grenadines. The departure tax for going to the Grenadines that the old lady from Beckway had to ask him to get rid of. And when you finish now, people telling you, oh, you're only saying wolf, you're only saying wolf. Who? Tell me the other name to call. He have to be micromanaging everything. So he assisted in drafting and piloting the Audit Act of 2004, and that the Director of Audit may audit the accounts of the IADC and not must. We understand that. We understand that. Me. Mr. Jack be nimble. You're not too smart, you know. But you know why you look bright? It's because Vincentians are greedy and selfish. They took your gifts. And as you usually say, the mouth is muzzled by the food it eats to live. May have a meaning. Just as in the case of the collective agreement, may have a legal meaning, and not the foolishness that you are speaking about. Whenever condition presents itself, the Director of Audits, whatever entity got monies from the public purse. That is according to the law. And as one legal luminary said, time for the red button to be pressed on you. Press the red button. You'll understand just now, folks, what that red button is. But now he's saying that she is not compelled to audit the accounts. That is not what he said all back in 1996, you know. That is not what you said all back in 1996, you know, when you were in opposition. You're singing a different song now. But in 2014, it's 14, yes, 14. Ivan O'Neill was saying that the Director of Audit should be asked to resign. And you know why? May shouldn't be tied to when Jack B. Nimble Wolf say the independent officer in the person of the Director of Audit should conduct an audit into the High Court office. The condition presented itself in the public interest, not in Jack B. Nimble's wolf interest. The condition presented itself for a special audit to be done at the High Court office. You know, in I think it's 2015, this very Jack B. Nimble here said that a forensic audit should be done for the fraud at the Argyle airport. You know, he said that. After Jennifer Richardson spoke about a fraud ring at the IADC, auditors seek the truth about fraud ring at IADC. A forensic audit underway at the state-owned International Airport Development Company is seeking to unearth the truth of what is taking place after a fraud ring was uncovered there in February. The forensic auditors will also help with restructuring inside of the IADC itself. Folks, where is the report on that forensic audit? Where? Where is it? Where is it? Up to now, none. So he on radio now on Sunday speaking about me. Eh? And this yes man, with anvil over his head. If he only step out the line, they set, what the guy name? Graham Ballas on him. If he only step out of line, because I can't understand the yes, Mr. Prime Minister. Yes, Mr. Prime Minister. But you know, the director of audit conducted an audit into the High Court office. Up to now, that cannot be laid in Parliament. That doesn't have to do with any manner. Neither May, June, or July. I should have said you lie. Because the High Court office is not one of the Nimble companies that was set up. No. And folks, I just reminded you, that May is the operative word in section 26 of the Constitution that had to do with qualification and disqualification for representatives. Now we have a man who signed, say he witnessed the collective agreement, which was the condition that presented itself for persons to run and get back their jobs. No. He signed it and he failed to live up to it. But I tell you something, Wolf. God takes covenant very seriously. Your intent was to deceive, and you deceive the teachers' union. But you know something? My grandmother used to say, you ain't do me, you do yourself. But, my friends, I don't know how these people just come up with these nonsense stories. I don't know. So help me, I don't know, because here what happened. Whenever you speak about accountability and the airport. Oh, they are against the airport. They're against the airport. Now, I was pointed to something last week. I love my dear friends, the listeners. Wherever they are, whether it's Antigua, the Dominican Republic, Canada, Barbados, wherever they are, Trinidad, I love them. Folks, I'm going to tell you this is the virtual classroom, right? Virtual classroom. So write down this and check it out. I can't tell you to use the Ralph top again because I'm not seeing them on the roadside. I ain't think they're in. But check out this. Piarco Airport corruption. Piarco Airport corruption. There was something I was to look for and it slipped me. But I want you to look for it. I was pointed also to Section 34 and Piarco High Flyers. Wait, what is that? Piarco Airport, no, Section 34 and Piarco High Flyers. Folks, would you believe that? Is that a coincidence? They were doing work on the Piarco Airport. And here what the fellas them here call that thing? Piarco Airport High Flyers. And we have a high flyer out there at Argyle. Is that a coincidence? Anyhow, you know nobody in Trinidad, no one in Trinidad came up with that immature, childish foolishness about they didn't want them to fix the airport. No. Well, you know what they wanted? To probe the corruption. Clarence Ramharat said this. There was a wave of white-collar crime joined in our country at Piarco. You go check it out for yourselves. As I said before, just type in Piarco Airport corruption. No? Big scandal they had, you know? Big scandal. Even the United States of America became involved. Yes. The USA became involved. And we don't know what is going on in that hole. You see the hole that they have out there? You see the location? You see the location of that airport when they were at Arnorsville? Things could have happened in the darkest of night. It was out there now. It was out there now. But folks, you know what is even worse? What happened in Trinidad? You remember what happened here in 2011 after NDP parliamentarians brought private criminal charges against persons in the ultimate lying party? They went, just like what James Mitchell did in 1972, they changed the election, they attempted to change the election ordinances, and they changed the criminal procedure code that if you want to bring private criminal charges against Sylvia Finley, you had to go to Sylvia Kozu. In Trinidad, the government under Kamala, after they had all the airport corruption, you know what Kamala did? She went and she amended Section 34. Check it out. Check it out for yourselves. Look out. Be on the lookout to see if any changes are proposed. See if any changes are proposed for the Finance Administration Act or the Audit Act. Look out. Because you see, with these nimble people who Mr. Doyle warned us against. And not only Mr. Doyle, you know, Milton Cato and Vince Beach. Milton Cato and Vince Beach begged us like dogs not to vote for this man. And what a crying shame now. What a crying shame. Vince Beach. Wait, is Vince Beach still the advisor on national security? I wonder. Because with all of the murder, Vince Beach still getting pay? The coconut Batman still getting pay? But he warned us. Warned us not ever to put that man in office. Don't ever vote for that man. And all the brakes stick in all the ears. And voted for him. And just because of filthy lucre, you're holding on. You're holding on. But next week, I will read you a document prepared to free St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I might be charged for plagiarism, but we're going back to what was said in 1989. In 1989, we're going back there. We're going back there. Because we have to free our country. But folks, at Trinidad Piarco Airport, there was massive corruption. Bid rigging, bribe paying, backfitting. Backfitting. I should say backdating. Backdating. Massive corruption. Up to now, we can't see what they call forensic audit. And because we don't even remember our last meal, we forget. Because we don't even remember our last meals, we forget. You know what bothers me too? It is how this man, this nimble man, always speaking about the Public Accounts Committee. Always speaking about the Public Accounts Committee. No. Remember I told you that in 2014, when Eustace decided to look at the report from the Director of Audit into the KFC corruption and the agriculture high price, Cardab and Alan Alexander corruption. You know, the IADC was involved. Then they told us that the guidelines were never approved by Parliament. But I think we went wrong. Because the Constitution of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is supreme. So even if the guidelines were never approved by Parliament, no Julian Francis, who used to walk out all them banks in town, and when Mitchell gave him the decision, a choice, according to the double crosser, I hope you dance. He walls out the people place. He dance. He walls out. You think he could have tell me, say, guidelines ain't approved, the constitution was approved. So I would have been sticking to the constitution. And I would have been looking at the report from the Auditor General and what she said about the KFC, Cuban Healthcare Initiative. And you know, almost all of the reports with the IADC, you know, they qualified. The Auditor General, and not the Auditor General, the auditor who conducted the audit, BDO, if you go up there now and you look at the IADC financial statement by BDO, they are questioning the payment for the Cubans. You hear what I said to you? The report is qualified. BDO have serious concerns about the same Cubans. But the man with the plenty paperwork, corruption thing, say, you can't. And you know, two apostles, Abraham and my cousin, are saying something that is so true. And it reminds me of what was said in Parliament on February the 22nd, 1996 by the Jack Binimble man. He was running off his mouth about who riding horse and chariot through the Constitution. No, he's doing worse. He is doing worse, and we have to thank the citizens of this blessed land for voting no on the covenant with debt. We should be happy that they voted no for that covenant with debt. Because look how this man is riding horse and chariot to the 1979 Constitution. What do you think he would have done with the new one? Folks, count your lucky stars. But there is hope. I told you that a legal luminary said, press the red button. And not only one, you know, another one very close to the ULP said, press the red button. Hear this. All is not lost. So hear this. Former head of the public service, Reginald Dumas, that is in Trinidad, said, and this is last week, that he was pleased for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that the Privy Council has handed down a ruling which clears the way for any citizen who is concerned about good governance to seek an interpretation of the Constitution from the High Court in the public interest. Time to press the red button. But the problem is, I asked one of those lawyers to help us to press the red button. He is reluctant, and I know the other one can't do it because of the position he holds. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. You know, it was just recently too. I was reminded of this. Because we speak in airport. So I was told to ask the question. We were told that while the government was building the administrative building, the financial complex, the NDP was building its headquarters. So here the question now. While the airport at Argyle was being built, the ULP bought their headquarters. Now, was any money? Did any of the IADC money ended up at the ULP headquarters? And not only that, the question begs, did any money from the IADC end up out country? Out country, did any money end up in the shanty? But here it was that the Unity Labour Party, they couldn't pay rent. They couldn't pay rent for a building, but they could buy it. How is that possible? You can't pay rent, you don't have money to pay rent. But they say they get loan. They get loan. Now, folks, we are speaking accountability. And since on the issue at hand, they don't speak matters like these. Because last week, Sunday, issue at hand, they did it speaking about where Pierre went wrong. Pierre is a lawyer. And not because we don't get upset with him sometimes. Hear what he say.
But the fact remains that the law which mandates the company running the airport and responsible for building the airport to lodge its accounts with the Department of Government known as SIPO is inadequate to provide the accountability that ought to be provided for a massive capital project costing, we are told, $700 million. So how do we get around that? Let us take the Prime Minister at his word.
All right.
What should happen when the accounts up to 2016 have been audited? Those accounts, in addition to being lodged at SIPO in accordance with the Companies Act, ought to be lodged in Parliament, not because there is a law saying that they ought to be lodged in Parliament, but because the dictates of political accountability require such a step, and that is my proposal. Now, it will take some time before those accounts are fully audited. So one isn't talking about something that happened in the next few months. But eventually, these accounts ought to be taken to Parliament by the Prime Minister, lodged in Parliament for debate by the members of Parliament. That would be real accountability. What we have now is theoretical accountability.
Nice, theoretical.
In that, yes, when the accounts are filed with SIPO, members of the public could go and look at them, but it doesn't mean anything because, as I said before, members of the public looking at the accounts in SIPO do not have the benefit of debate in Parliament. And after all, that is what we have a Parliament for. So that the government will have nothing to lose by taking the accounts and laying them in Parliament. There's nothing to prevent the government doing that. There is no law saying thou shalt not lay accounts of government companies in Parliament. So even though the law says take them to SIPO, I am saying from a point of view of political accountability, which is what is important. And when you read Dr. Fraser's article, you will see that. In the interest of political accountability, take the accounts to Parliament, lay them there, let them be debated. Nothing to hide.
When does someone really become a good citizen? I'd like to know for sure. Why, when the ordinary man disagrees with the establishment, they call it treason. Why should they persecute a brother for seeking black power? Don't they know a blind man could see that this is blatant hypocrisy? The real traitors and them are all high in society. Yet the government protecting all of them and penalizing you and me. And in a million different ways they violated law. It's the same good no good bastards who oppress the poor. They sell in black market, making excess profit, paying a starvation salary. These good citizens are the architects of economic slavery. They say you have the right to criticize, but then you are victimized, and without any reason. Many a time you find yourself politically paralyzed by that same good city. Yet these fakes and phonies enjoy a long life of luxury while they spread corruption throughout the country. When they should be arrested, they're protected and respected in the society. And in a million different ways, they violate the law. It's the same good no good bastards who oppress the poor. With a false declaration, tax evasion, defrauding customs duty. These good citizens are the architects of economic slavery.
Folks, we have to pull down Sparrow and we playing PR again. Because boy, PR like he is better than Bill Maher. PR and Bill Maher have new rules. PR have new law. New law according to PR. Thou shalt not lay the accounts of the IADC in Parliament. PR, you come bad, you bad.
But the fact remains that the law which mandates the company running the airport and responsible for building the airport to lodge its accounts with the Department of Government known as SIPO is inadequate to provide the accountability that ought to be provided for a massive capital project costing, we are told, $700 million. So how do we get around that? Let us take the Prime Minister at his word. What should happen when the accounts up to 2016 have been audited? Those accounts, in addition to being lodged at SIPO in accordance with the Companies Act, ought to be lodged in Parliament, not because there is a law saying that they ought to be lodged in Parliament, but because the dictates of political accountability require such a step, and that is my proposal. Now, it will take some time before those accounts are fully audited. So one isn't talking about something that happened in the next few months. But eventually, these accounts ought to be taken to Parliament by the Prime Minister, lodged in Parliament for debate by the members of Parliament. That would be real accountability.
Nice.
What we have now is theoretical accountability. In that, yes, when the accounts are filed with SIPO, members of the public could go and look at them, but it doesn't mean anything because, as I said before, members of the public looking at the accounts in SIPO do not have the benefit of debate in Parliament. And after all, that is what we have a Parliament for. So that the government will have nothing to lose.
Nothing.
By taking the accounts and laying them in Parliament, there's nothing to prevent the government doing that.
What's he hiding?
There's no law saying, thou shalt not lay accounts of government companies in Parliament. So even though the law says, take them to SIPO, I am saying from a point of view of political accountability, which is what is important. And when you read Dr. Fraser's article, you will see that. In the interest of political accountability, take the accounts to Parliament, lay them there, let them be debated.
Exactly.
Nothing to hide.
Well, the implications there, Mr. Speaker. There are very important implications there, Mr. Speaker. Because the truth of the matter, Mr. Speaker, is that the IADC, and he has mentioned national properties, have between them both, in very short time in this country, run up nearly $200 million of our national debt, you know. IADC, if you go to the estimates, has now a $41,740,539 worth of debt to the IADC. Then there's to FCIB another $3 million. Then it owes National Properties / NIS $49,536,104. Then there's an overdraft of $724,060.
You don't hear money.
And if you go to page 630 of the budget, Mr. Speaker, you'll see there's a public sector investment airport development for $54 million from Venezuela. On page 631, Country Assistance Program, Argyle International Airport, $6,272,373. So it's not as if this beautiful baby, this wonderful institution that's involved in Argyle development doesn't have an albatross around its neck. It has, in fact, been running up significant amounts of debt. So what happens, Mr. Speaker? What happens come the completion of the Argyle Airport this year? And I pray God that it finishes in 2013. And I pray God that it's open in 2014. And yes, we will get a national holiday for all of us to go to Argyle to celebrate this wonderful opening. And it will be a fait accompli. The airport is completed. But then, Mr. Speaker, you will still have an agency called the IADC with probably $150, $200 million worth of debt. And that debt has to be paid off. And it has to be paid off by taxpayers.
Talk it up.
So it's not as if you can simply say that I'm taking this $4.2 million now to see the completion. And after that is finished, you shift IADC aside. IADC's debt will have to be written off, and it has to be written off by taxpayers, and for a long, long time, because $100, $150, $200 million is a lot of debt. And National Properties is in no position to bail them out. because they too will have a lot of debt. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we have been operating something in this country that takes on the image of a Ponzi scheme.
Oh, Ponzi scheme?
Didn't say it is.
Oh, the
I didn't say it is.
Okay.
But when you are in a country and you take the state lands and state properties, as we have done, and vest them into a company, namely national properties, so that becomes its equity and its asset base, and national properties then takes the state lands and puts it up as security to go up to the NIS to secure funding. And NIS decided to lend properties money on the basis of state lands and assets as security, and send them down to what was normally the bank of the National Commercial Bank as it was then, and the NCB gives them cash. All that is what helped pull the company on, the bank on there.
Exactly.
Because ultimately, neither national properties nor IADC have an income stream that can take them out of that debt. None of them.
None.
In fact, I don't ask you, I'm telling you, national properties cannot be sold as a going concern. It cannot. It hardly qualifies for a going concern. Take one example. It owns the property called Cobblestone Inn. What do you do? Sell the hotel and keep the buildings? If somebody buys the hotel, somebody goes up there and buy that hotel, and then they discover that the property really didn't belong to them. And it's so for a lot of the other assets. They can't sell them off. So I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, there's implications for us for putting these funds into the IADC. And we have to look for a different architecture than the one we've chosen here.
When does someone really become a good citizen? I'd like to know for sure. Why, when the ordinary man disagrees with the establishment, they call it treason. Why should they persecute a brother for seeking black power? Don't they know a blind man could see that this is blatant hypocrisy? The real traitors and them are all high in society. Yet the government protecting all of them and penalizing you and me. And in a million different ways they violate the law. It's the same good no good bastards who oppress the poor. They sell in black market, making excess profit, paid a starvation salary. These good citizens are the architects of economic slavery.
It was not until the arrival of Gunsinomics in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, ladies and gentlemen. Gunsinomics! Yes. Did you hear me? Yes. Gunsinomics arrived in 2001, the 29th of March. Well, Gunsinomics went to work immediately.
I know.
So Gunsinomics said, we're going to go to UNESCO and let me get some money from them. And we're going to go to the EU and we're going to get some from them. And you heard the chairman say, we're going to get a loan. Not so? And you had to bring yourself to the point where you could be solvent, where you could prove to the bank that you could get a loan. And Gunsinomics say, once they could do that, you could take the loan, and we're moving forward. I will give you the money to build the property up there. Isn't that great? Who say Gunsinomics ain't great? Ladies and gentlemen, that was a little speech which I had put together. And I hope my kneecap is still in place.
Well, there are implications there, Mr. Speaker. There are very important implications there, Mr. Speaker. Because the truth of the matter, Mr. Speaker, is that the IADC, and he has mentioned national properties, have between them both, in very short time in this country, ran up nearly $200 million of our national debt, you know. IADC, if you go to the estimates, has now a $41,740,539 worth of debt to the IADC. Then there's to FCIB another $3 million. Then it owes National Properties / NIS $49,536,104. Then there's an overdraft of $724,060. And if you go to page 630 of the budget, Mr. Speaker, you'll see there's a public sector investment airport development for $54 million from Venezuela. On page 631, Country Assistance Program, Argyle International Airport, $6,272,373. So it's not as if this beautiful baby, this wonderful institution that's involved in Argyle development doesn't have an albatross around its neck. It has in fact been running up significant amounts of debt. So what happens, Mr. Speaker? What happens come the completion of the Argyle Airport this year? And I pray God that it finishes in 2013. And I pray God that it's open in 2014. And yes, we will get a national holiday for all of us to go to Argyle to celebrate this wonderful opening. And it will be a fait accompli. The airport is completed. But then, Mr. Speaker, you will still have an agency called the IADC with probably $150, $200 million worth of debt. And that debt has to be paid off. And it has to be paid off by taxpayers. So it's not as if you can simply say that I'm taking this $4.2 million now to see the completion. And after that is finished, you shift IADC aside. IADC's debt will have to be written off, and it has to be written off by taxpayers, and for a long, long time, because $100, $150, $200 million is a lot of debt. And National Properties is in no position to bail them out, because they too will have a lot of debt. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we have been operating something in this country that takes on the image of a Ponzi scheme, you know.
Nice. It so resembles a Ponzi scheme. And that is why PR pointed us to the article in the Searchlight newspaper of Friday, May the 5th, 2017, on page 11. And in one of the paragraphs here, Dr. Fraser is wondering, why is the IADC registered under the Companies Act? It beats me that the financial accounts of what is our biggest capital project would not be debated in Parliament, the same Parliament that sanctioned loans to meet certain aspects of construction. And you know, Dr. Fraser, you know what is bothering me? Is on that, what is program name? Issue at Hand. DS man. And Fanny Darrow is wondering the same thing. Why he doesn't ask Mr. Prime Minister, sir, did the IADC receive money that were appropriated in Parliament? Because according to the Audit Act of 2004, let me see what section this is. Section 19, Part 4, Section 19, Powers of the Director of Audit. And you go down there to subsection 2B3. It's saying here, the following persons shall give to the Director of Audit any information, records, or explanation that the Director of Audit consider necessary to enable him to carry out his responsibilities under this or any other act Even the companies act too. Recipient of government money. So Dr. Fraser is right. Pierre Campbell is right. You have nothing to lose when you, Mr. Wolfman, Jack be nimble. Portuguese know how to make money, right? Portuguese know how to make money. You said when you were going after your cousin, Ken Boye, you know what you said? In politics, you are guilty until proven otherwise. You're guilty. You said so, no, not me. Did any of the monies that were intended for the IADC, are going on your logic, did any of that money end up elsewhere? Did any of that money end up elsewhere? Dr. Fraser's article is very good. Dr. Fraser's article is saying here, reading whatever is available at SIPO will mean little to most Vincentians. But we elect representatives to Parliament who are supposed to act on our behalf. They are the ones we expect to debate this issue in Parliament, and you're bragging that Parliament is aired live. But you're hiding. What do you have to hide? Will the Auditor General pick up that monies meant for the Argyle Airport or for national property, or they said to change the P in that, National Pansy Scheme. National Pansy Scheme. Change that. Change that, not national properties. Change that. But folks, as E.G. will say, that is how it is in this country. And today I was reminded of this. You know, they think this one here, the one there, Jack be nimble. Jack be nimble Wolf, he think that Smiles dead and will St. Vincent to him. And the others in the ULP, they think that the public purse theirs.
Mr. Speaker, I am the Minister of Tourism. I must state that firmly. I am the Minister of Tourism. And no one from outside my ministry can come and tell me about how I allocated monies to be spent. And whether monies were spent or whether monies will be spent locally or internationally. I just want to state that clear.
You hear that? They think that the money belongs to them. They think it's their money. Sorry for the poor quality, but they think it's their money, and that is how they want to operate in this country. What do they have to hide? We need accountability, and they think it's for that alone. We want accountability for the Farmers Support Company. You take government property and you ascertize the Farmer Support Company that got monies from Petrocaribe. We want to know about that. And the Agricultural Warehouse Company that's supposed to bring in brown sugar and no sugar in there. We want to know about that as well. We want to know about that. And there are more.
I take sugar from our marketing board. I put it down at the input warehouse. Put the input warehouse into a company. Put the input warehouse into a company. I take sugar from our marketing board. I put it down at the input warehouse. Put the input warehouse into a company. Put the input warehouse into a company.
And when the bank said to me in the month of August this year, when they said, well, we will have a difficulty prime minister,
continuing with the student loan program for economically disadvantaged students. I say I could understand that. Because it reached $33 million. But you think that I would abandon the program? I set up a company. I set up a company known as the Student Loan Company Limited. Put $5.5 million inside of it and gave the bank to operate it, to carry out the same service, but not on their books, on this other company's books.
You hear that?
But not on their books, on this other company's books.
Oh, not on their books, but on this other company books. Not on their books, on this other company book. Folks, you ever hear anything like that? You ever hear anything like that? How come Alien tell me that the some kind of meeting is here going on with the United Nations? How nobody told me anything? The chattering neighbors. What is going on up there at the NIS building? Starting yesterday. So here I was. Decided that I was going to the lecture last night at French's house on the Treaty of Chaguaramas, conflicts and contradictions for the island state. Yes. I went to that function last night, but you know what I think? I think I should open the lines a little bit, take one or two calls on the issue of accountability, and then we can move on now to the lecture last night. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night. Thank God for opposition. We tell nothing is going on with the opposition. Thank God for opposition.
Thank you, my dear. Thank God for them. But we need to press that red button. Press the red button and challenge the matter in court. You are breaking the law. Hello?
Hello, good night, Miss London.
Stranger in the house.
Yeah, I can't talk long. I have very little credit. I only want to say this. The Prime Minister, according to panel and what Leacock and thing, can make the law and talk about cyber and things. But the Minister of Finance is bound by duty to lay the accounts in the house.
Definitely. Constitution.
Right, later.
Okay. They are bound by the Constitution to lay the accounts of public funds in Parliament. Hello, good night.
Good night, Miss London.
Hi, good night. How are you?
I divide the grace of God.
Nice. Before you go on, let me just tell you, right? Send by Nightingale, okay?
Send by Gale and Night, you say?
I know. Oh, that is how you call it now?
Nightingale.
Yeah, watch me. A gale of wind should come now.
Yeah.
All right. What's up?
I hear you playing some clip there with the PM voice. I don't know if it's live.
The Prime Monsters voice? The Prime Monsters.
Because I don't know if it is tape you playing there or if it's something you in, because he was in a New Testament convention this evening.
What?
Yeah, they have the convention up at Wilson Hill, and the PM was there, so I don't know if it's, and he spoke there, he spoke in the convention day, and then I hear, it's tapes you playing. Can't be something live you playing from a different thing.
What he said today? What he said today? You read from Psalm 55?
Where
you read from? Proverbs 26?
This evening? No, he didn't read from any.
So he didn't read from Solomon?
No.
Hear what Solomon said here, right? When he speaks graciously, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart.
That God hates.
What is that?
7 abominations God hates?
In his heart. In his heart.
7 abominations in the person who speak.
Yes.
You want to name them?
You could tell me them. You have credit on your phone to mention them?
No. I mean...
Watch me. Anyhow, we name one tonight, you're getting a phone call.
I know one is a proud look. I know another one is a deceitful heart. I know them, but I can't recall all of them now.
All right. Abraham will tell you them on Friday night.
Yeah, so how is thing otherwise?
Not bad at all. How about you?
I did sometime out.
So, what you think? You want accountability, right?
Of
course.
That is necessary. In any place, if somebody put me to manage something, and they don't want an accountability from me, it's because those people must be getting what they getting where they put me in charge to look over.
I'm telling you.
From a different source.
Because you know something, Mr. Mackenzie, right? It is one thing to write down figures, not true?
Yeah.
All right, like for example, I have before me here the Petro Caribe check register from the period January the 4th, 2015 to December the 31st, 2015, right? And for example, you see here Tankwell Metals and the amount of monies that they were paid.
Yeah,
right?
Those are people bringing the galvanized and cement.
For election.
And lumber and things.
Right. Well, it's for election and for whoever else, right?
So how they get paid? How did they get paid?
Wait no. Hey, joke, right? What I'm saying here, right? The financial statement or the check register will say, for example, let me give you another one, right? Grantley Bramble got $15,960. Right? Here what the thing is now. You know what the accountant general, well, you turn accountant general and me now, not accountant general, sorry, we call the other one. the director of audit. The director of audit don't just want to hear Maurice Heights got $17,201.48. The director of audit want to know why did you pay Maurice Heights for? Was it for Star FM? Was it for rental for Star FM?
I don't know.
I'm not speaking, you're only asking a question.
I understand what you're saying, you know.
Well,
so
no,
I don't know.
No, hear what you have to do. You now have to imagine now that you are the director of audit. And you look at this, you want to know what did you play Dean Clowney for? Is Dean Clowney walking with Petro Caribe?
Miss London, it is simple. If somebody had to pay the area day in which you said them, whoever received that money supposed to give you a receipt.
No, not that. What the director of audit will do is to come into your place, like the Petro Caribe. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And look at the book and see if they have invoices, if they have receipts. What they have.
Well, that is what I'm saying.
You can't just tell me, right? I give you money to go tongue, right? You go tell me now, you give Tom Jones $10, you give this one. What the proof you have?
The proof might be wanted you to believe that, well, okay, I am giving out charity. But
because hey, Mr. Mackenzie, right? I played a clip a while ago that you were asking about if it's a tape or if it's live, right? Listen, the clip say that he set up the student loan company with money from the bank. I'm playing it back now because it is saying here that the company money shouldn't be on the books. This is worse than Stacey Aberdeen. So like they had 2 books. 2 books. But when I'm looking here now at the Petro Caribe check register, I am seeing here number 19, National Student Loan Company, $125,000.
Jesus.
We need him. We need him. And that is why next week, we're going back to the call to deliver St. Vincent.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
They could charge me for plagiarism, but where there was NDP, we're taking out NDP and we're putting in the ULP.
Yeah, because I could recall when the Atlee Hall thing was exposed about this amount of money. We were the persons who were demanding that we must get accountability.
No, you know why? It's not no way now. We all went along with him.
Yeah, well, hey, even before the thing happened in 2000 and 2001, remember they had this thing going on since around 1990, 98, thereabout, you know. And before anybody get into a soup with the nurses and the this and the that came and formed this thing, and then somebody jump in. Before that, people was calling the authorities. We want to know how these money are spent. This was before them, you know.
Because here again now, you're talking there, you know how much time KFC name show up on the Petro Caribe bill? Even after we don't have the confusion, the corruption at the Ministry of Health?
If you not got nothing to hide, bring the thing on.
Now you come, man. Now you come.
The mere fact that you don't want people to see go and put suspicious.
I tell you.
In the majority of Vincentian minds. that something there is looking fishy.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
The very same again with the things on them that they don't want a case to be heard about the electoral thing what went on.
Exactly.
You're just putting suspicion in people's mind that something went on. If something not went on, we
had to hide.
We don't want people
throw the book at us.
Man,
throw the books at us. Where say?
Miss London, if somebody go and say Mackenzie have an underage child sleeping in the house with him, and go right now, you will meet that person, and police come. If I ain't got such a person in me home, I will freely let them in to have a look.
Exactly.
But the mere fact that I telling them, stop a gate, stop up by the road.
Watch me, Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, right? You remind me about a story I heard from Iggy Lynch. And I forget Iggy, you know. You remind me about a story I heard from Iggy Lynch about police going to Willan Hill to search a money-making mint. Right?
Yeah.
And the police was met by the door. The police were met by the door and told, do not go into that room.
And the police?
Coil there behind.
The police and they stop.
They stop, they can't go in there.
Oh. But because maybe if they had gone in, they would have meet all the kind of...
They would have meet... No. You relax yourself. You know what they would have met?
A machine.
Feet under the counter.
Yeah.
Feet, so the machine would have been with the feet under the counter?
Yeah, well, that is why I said in different money, you know.
Okay. Okay.
That is what I said.
Anyhow, you listened to the lecture last night?
Yeah, but the law and the judge didn't want to get into certain details.
But he went into certain details.
I'm not saying he didn't went into some.
And you behaving like a judge right now. don't laugh, you know.
Well,
Mackenzie.
I want to say one more thing.
Well, no. You relax yourself. You call me, right? You call me?
Yeah.
All right. What you know about this judge?
I mean, Adrian. We used to be in UPM.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
All are we.
UPM.
Renwick Road.
I was looking at the citation here. Yes, me not see that. I haven't seen that. Not a word about the political party UPM. Because hey, no, you heard when Luzette asked him a question last night?
Yes.
And from the minute Luzette say, Luzette call him her name? The Jack Benimble's name? Did she?
Oh, let me go. I can't remember, you know, but I could remember.
You see you? I will lock you off. I will set Lavon on you.
No, I said I can't remember.
You heard what I just said?
Yeah, I can't remember. But let me say these days that I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to Judge Henry. Is Henry she name?
Watch me.
Wait a while.
No. Do not go there tonight. Next thing they go say now that you're trying to influence the judge.
What? No, you
know she had children?
Is a woman.
Mr. Mackenzie, I set in love on you tonight. Have a good night.
Wait. You just wait.
I want to go. No. I want to go to the lecture.
She preached a wonderful sermon of glad tidings Sunday, you know, that I want to congratulate her for.
You're serious?
So you must listen, people.
You're serious?
Of course.
And you didn't invite me?
She speak about on womanhood.
No, I want to make sure Lavon call you tonight.
Right? The judge could preach, man.
Oh, you're serious?
Yes.
Glad tidings were up in Belair?
Upcoming. People in the area said it's a wonderful sermon she preached. And I pray God that you will have other people who dispense justice in the land and through the Caribbean who have a fear of God also in this life.
You know, she was the judge in Atosam case.
No, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, she was the judge in the Atosam Force case, right?
Yeah.
All right, my dear.
Okay,
right?
then.
But I thank you very much for that reminder about the judge and the UPM.
All of we used to be in that struggle.
Me too.
And
I know you can't remember me. But I know. Anyhow, talk to you later, right?
Okay, then.
All right. I owe you a Guinness for that. I owe Mr. Mackenzie a Guinness for that. And with that, because of what Mr. Mackenzie just said, UPM, and based on the response to Luzette's question last night, a real relevant question, especially in light of what is taking place in the country. Fear stalks the land. When the law is being used to beat us into submission. Luzette asked the question, the issue is one of a lack of ethics among the legal fraternity when the legal fraternity remains quiet after a politician states, no matter what court you go to, you have to come back to Papa. When a DPP, an attorney general, refused to obey a court order, well, I don't know what that order is, right? But I'm only reading Luzette's question. That is a problem. So how would you follow through after this to address my concern? After that experience, at the first instance, an appeal court, that we avoid the CCJ as last resort? Well, that question exposed the leopard. You know, they say a leopard cannot change its spots. A leopard cannot change. A leopard cannot change his spots. The Bible says, can the Ethiopian change his skin? Can the Ethiopian change his skin? Can the leopard his spots? Then may he also do good that are accustomed to do evil. You go and read Jeremiah chapter 13 and verse 23. Things and persons cannot change their innate nature. Can't change your innate nature. This is the same. When the man started out, I felt proud. I felt good. I felt happy. But after Luzette's question, say, boy, we're in serious trouble. Serious trouble with the Caribbean Court of Justice that Vince Beach said he had problem with. Ralph Gonsalve had problem with it. He had problem with it in opposition, but not now. Because you know why? He's in charge. This is the same Adrian Saunders who was involved with the UPM in 1989. You know, he used to write to Sir James Mitchell. When he used to write in the newspaper Justice. Big politician, not a word about that last night. Nothing. Nothing. He spoke about a few trade disputes among a few member states, and he also spoke about the Shani Myrie case. The lady from Jamaica who went to Barbados and they treated her badly, tortured her, and then they sent her back home. When he got to speaking about Article 7 in the Treaty of Chaguaramas and how citizens can sue their own country, I waited but in vain to hear him speak about bigger bigs, or even Marcus de Freitas. I waited, not a word. Not a funeral note on how the Taiwanese could mine and bigger bigs can't mine. He spoke about the threat to sue Caribbean Airlines over the fuel subsidy, but not a word about the same Caribbean Airlines now having to save our faces at Argyle. Same Cal we threatened to sue. He spoke about the free movement of people. And mind you, he's speaking about conflicts and contradictions and how citizens could sue. And I told you about the case from the Privy Council about citizens now can challenge anything that have to do with good governance. But he spoke about the free movement of people. Not a word about how the citizens of the Grenadines are being treated. Even Dr. Friday is such. Even Dr. Friday. You remember fella did box Mitchell in the eye and say he didn't know? So they don't know Dr. Friday either. But Dr. Friday, you aren't wrong. Let them sort you because they shouldn't discriminate against the others and let you pass. So let them sort. The lone gentleman spoke about the environmental levy in regards to Guyana. Not a word about the environmental levy imposed on the people of the Grenadines, even if the government do not supply them with water. Not a word about the conflicts and contradictions as it relates to the people of the Grenadines. But when the lone gentleman, Justice Adrian Saunders, revealed to the gathering, and thanks to Nice Radio and others, it was streamed live, the world heard that political columnist Blazer Williams sat on the Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission to select judges to sit on the Caribbean Court of Justice. My body run cold. My heart burned within me, and so fast my heart burned is so fast I groan until last night. Pain. It pained me. Pained me to hear that Blazer Williams, who refused now to speak out for the people of Kanawan, under the NDP, he said it was apartheid. Every day they're locking up Terry Bino. Not a word from Blazer Williams. Blazer Williams was selecting judges. Judges? Folks, you see our predicament? What a revelation. What a cause for alarm. That was frightening. No wonder. Students at a class that Colin Williams used to teach. I mean, recently, last year before, say every time he come in the class, he calling up Kepa's name. I wasn't there, I don't know. And how the judge rang to give Kepa's money for legal expenses and they get rid of the judge, you one from Trinidad. I don't even know the woman name, man or woman, but students used to say so. So when they have Blazer Williams nominating judges, selecting judges, folks, we are in deep trouble. Deep trouble. Now we heard all thing about the Privy Council. How they are so far a distance away and wherever else. Not a word. That 9 Caribbean judges, 9, not 1, not 2, 9 Caribbean judges, so James said, denied him justice. 9 Caribbean judges denied Sir James justice. 9. I'm playing that before I leave here tonight. 9 Caribbean judges denied Sir James justice. And not Sir James alone, you know. Randolph Toussaint. Caribbean judges denied Randolph Toussaint justice. And he came back to Papa and can't get the money. He came back to Papa and he can't get money for his land that the Privy Council said they were wrong to take away his property. 9 Caribbean judges. 9 denied Sir James justice.
Ramesh and my daughter Louise were the ones that went all the way with me to the Privy Council, and I won. I am not here to boast about that victory. I am here to share with you the grief I have about Caribbean justice, that your humble servant, 35 years in Parliament, enacting all kinds of legislation for the courts to look after, I could not get justice in this Caribbean. Let that be a lesson to the people. If my commissioner of police served 44 years as a policeman, and the longest serving Vincentian commissioner of police couldn't get justice for his constitutional rights, and I couldn't get justice. What about you?
What about you? 9 Caribbean judges denied James Mitchell justice. Now, we spend millions on Otley Hall. After we got debt relief, we ended up back in debt because of a commission of inquiry that the Privy Council say Ephraim Georges was biased. Not a word about that last night. Insultive language you got to Luzette because of Luzette question. The Lord gentleman spoke about the election petitions. He spoke about that, you know. Folks, keep your ears open. He said, just like what Astafan had said, that at the end of it, that's it. You can't go to Privy Council. What was he saying last night about the election petition, knowing he was in the UPM? If I did answer Luz's question decently, I would have never been taking this line tonight. Never. Not a word about the St. Kitts case. We're not questioning, as Jerry George said, the credentials, the qualifications. But you see the closeness? The closeness when you have a man saying when certain cases going on, and I ain't saying what country, you know, all he have to do is to call the judge, invite the judge out for dinner or whatever, and the judge go read through the line. That was said in a Caribbean country. That was said in a Caribbean country. So when now, after the insults to Luzette, 3 other apostles came in. They chimed in. And when they chimed in, he felt he was jammed into a corner. So he tried now to make a comeback to come tell us about death penalty. Death penalty, don't even go there. Don't even go to death penalty, because hadn't it been for the Privy Council, Mark Stangster and Randall Dixon would have been dead today. Privy Council saved them. Mark Sangster and Randall Dixon of Jamaica were never around a crime scene when they said he killed. They killed, well, it's 2 of them. They killed. Privy Council saved their life. None of the lawyers say all during the referendum, they're telling you about Pratt and Morgan, not a word about Sangster and Dixon. So it better come better than that. Insulting Luzette. You know what came to my mind when I heard that man last night? If, let us say, a case involving his former colleague from the UPM, Jack B. Nimble, came before him, how would he adjudicate? I told you what the Bible say about an Ethiopian. Ethiopian could bleach all he want. He could bleach, he could use all the cake soap he want. Can't change the skin. You go bleach it out for now. Stop bleach and you go see if you come back black. Stop bleach. You know, another thing that struck me from that speech last night, not only the revelation about Blazer Williams, you know what struck me? Was when he said that the videos of the court proceedings, the CCJ, can be found on the court's website. I said, what? I wonder if Anthony Astafan know about that? Because I hear why you're asking that question. During the proceedings and the interlocutory application to throw out the election petition and the abuse of process case, the lawyers for the petitioners asked for the recordings of one of the proceedings of the court, an open court hearing. Astafan informed the court that he have concerns that the tape may end up in the wrong hand. May end up in the wrong hand. So, the judge, Justice Esco Henry, laid down some very strict orders. Lawyers not supposed to share the tape with anybody. And if even me, Margaret London, went to the open court, listened to the case, take notes, and come back on radio and speak about them, you know, and the lawyers could go to jail for that. Let us say she didn't give me. QC John didn't give me. I took my own notes because it was an open court hearing. You know, the lawyers could go to jail for that if I come on radio and read from my notes. But such is life. Anyhow, the lawman said last night that videos of the court proceedings of the CCJ can be found on the court's website. That's all. I don't like the way you answer Luzette at all. Luzette shouldn't say, he defied logic. The response to Luzette's question defied logic. You shouldn't go there. Insultive language can't work. And it didn't work, because in the end, I see Luzette, and they'll knock out Luzette, and I see Luzette gone up, still laughing and talking. I can't make it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Can't do it. Anyhow, folks, it is now 5 minutes to 11 o'clock. So you know what that means. Our time has come to an end. Our time has come to an end. And we have to go. We have to go. I was looking for a song here to play for my friend Who to Blame. I wonder if my friend Big D is outside to help us to look for who to blame for all the corruption that is taking place in this country. But folks, like I can't find that one tonight, but if I do, you will get it. But this thing is still on my mind after that lecture last night.
Ramesh and my daughter Louise were the ones that went all the way with me to the Privy Council, and I won. I am not here to boast about that victory. I am here to share with you the grief I have about Caribbean justice, that your humble servant, 35 years in Parliament, enacting all kinds of legislation for the courts to look after, I could not get justice in this Caribbean. Let that be a lesson to the people. If my commissioner of police served 44 years as a policeman, and the longest serving Vincentian commissioner of police couldn't get justice for his constitutional rights, and I couldn't get justice, what about you?
Folks, what about you? Ask yourself that question. What about you? What about you? 9 Caribbean judges denied Sir James justice. Now, folks, we touched on accountability. We also touched on the lecture. I told you about the embarrassment that the director of prosecution exposed the judicial system to in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I pointed you to Section 34 and Piarco High Flyers, so I hope you check out that one. And remember, I told you that in the Privy Council made a ruling that citizens who are concerned about good governance can seek interpretation on the Constitution in the High Court on issues of good governance. So, that's it for tonight. And I want you never to forget that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, of power, and of a sound mind. Take care of your darling selves, and if it is the will of the Lord, I'll see you again next Wednesday night.
Who to blame? Who to blame? Everybody looking, somebody to blame. But when I sit down and I analyze the whole thing, there is nobody to blame myself but yourself. I say, who to blame? Who to blame? Everybody looking,
somebody to blame.
When I sit down and I
analyze the whole thing.
There is nobody to blame. but ourselves. It's a shame and a disgrace of the Virgin Islands full speed going down the drain, and everybody sitting on the side and looking.
Somebody to blame.
I say,
Who to blame? Who to blame?
everybody looking.
Somebody to blame.
But when I sit down and I analyze the whole thing,
There is nobody to blame ourselves but ourselves.
I say,
Who to blame? Who to blame?
everybody looking.
Somebody to blame.
But when I sit down and I analyze the whole thing,
There is nobody to blame ourselves but ourselves.
who we gonna blame for all this dictatorship that going on here in the Virgin Islands? President Frank couldn't take it no more. He turned off the light inside the Senate. I said,
Who to blame? Who to blame?
everybody looking.
Somebody to blame.
But when I sit down and I analyze the whole thing,
There is nobody to blame ourselves but ourselves.
I said,
Who to blame? Who to blame?
everybody looking.
Somebody to blame.
But when I sit down and I analyze the whole thing,
There is nobody to blame ourselves but ourselves.
who we gonna blame for all the advantage taken of the taxpayers of the Virgin Islands, when the majority contributing for only the chosen few benefiting? I said,
Who to blame? Who to blame?
everybody looking.
Somebody to blame.
But when I sit down and I analyze the whole thing,
There is nobody to blame ourselves but ourselves.
I said,
Who to blame? Who to blame?
everybody looking.
Somebody to blame.
But when I sit down and I analyze the whole thing,
Production. Say one's a night nurse.
St. Vincent need a night nurse. Join Margaret London every Wednesday night, 9 to 10:30 p.m.
Anytime you want, I'm there.
It is time to take your medication, attend to your problems, easing your pain, injecting clarity on the airwaves. Every Wednesday, 9 to 10:30 p.m. It's your night nurse, Margaret London, on Nice Radio.
No matter where you are in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, your radio is Nice Radio. 101.3, 96.7, 90.3 FM.
Clouds been looming on the horizon. No signs that they're going away in a hurry. It's here, yes, the inclement weather season, bringing with it a lot more adversity. The atmosphere is charged with hopelessness and fear. Next storm go be large, I could feel it in the air. Cause our women are frequently raped and abused, and underage girls get pregnant, for which there is no excuse. More and more young men becoming homos, and young women becoming hoes. On and on it goes. When it rains it pours. On and on it goes. When it rains it pours. Tell you. Strong winds have blown away all our values, leaving us to exist in a chaotic state. Don't even bother listening to the weather news. We've already had a big change in the climate. The temperature rising, the place getting hotter. It is frightening. We get enough thunder. Crime and violence are wreaking havoc constantly. Idle teenagers turning gangsters with guns terrorizing the whole country. The revolution in education is creating social woes. On and on it goes. When it rains, it pours. On and on it goes. When it rains, it pours. Tell you. Bing, bang, boy. The weatherman forecasting fair weather, but what we're getting is quite the opposite. It will get much worse before it gets better, so we'll just have to buckle down and bear it. Prevailing conditions get worse from time to time. The weather in our land
is unfit for humankind. The job culture steadily destroying the youth, and it's making them unproductive and unable to contribute. The quality of life has diminished. Now it's hard knocks and steady blows. On and on it goes. When it rains, it pours. On and on it goes. When it rains, it pours. Tell you. Darkness have blanketed our country. Now more than ever, we need a beacon of light. It's been raining in our lives continually. We can't wait until the sun starts to shine bright. The flood water so high, we drowning in despair. No one listens when we cry about this weather we can't bear. There's an aura of uncertainty that prevails, and it is clouding our vision while cost of living buzzing with tail. The pressure building up progressively, and it's getting more intense as it goes. On and on it goes. When it rains, it pours. On and on it goes. When it rains, it pours. Tell you. The pressure people bear only to survive. Lord, I think it's plenty better here to be dead than alive. Cost of living rising every day. The only thing ain't raising is we pay. Now all is happening right in front of we. How come we can't see? I think this society needs a spectacle. It might help us to see some evil. This society needs a spectacle. I really want to know why people can't. This society needs a spectacle. The kind of thing that really happens to we. This society needs a spectacle. Anyone could see things ain't going right. This society needs a spectacle. If you can't see that, something wrong with your side. This society needs a spectacle. Endless brothers grunting on the street, they can't find a job. It's almost any brother you meet, grunting for a bob. Lord, we country really in a mess. Still the people just couldn't care less. Will somebody please explain to me why people can't see? I think this society needs a spectacle. It might help us to see some evil. This society needs a spectacle. Unemployment is making the youth. This society needs a spectacle. No wonder they are causing so much trouble.